Hi. So, congratulations. You successfully completed week one, and we're into week two now. I hope you're getting familiar with Blackboard 9. The biggest thing about it is when you open it up to go to the learning activities where you see the folder of week 1 through 8 listed, and then you also see the option to go to the discussion board. But most of the information is inside the weekly folder, so please always look at that weekly folder first. It's kind of a shortcut to go to the discussion board and take a look at those. If it's an assignment, if you click on the assignment, like under the line that says assignment, if you click in that area right there, you will get a screen that opens up that shows you where to put the assignment. Most of you are able to find it. A few people struggled, so I wanted to touch base on that. And remember, should you have any prayer requests, please feel free to post them because I do pray for my students, and I'll be happy to pray for any needs you might have. Okay, so week two. I'm looking over at my other computer screen, so if you see me look away, I can kind of taking a look there to be sure I touch on all the bases. So there's chapter 2 and chapter 3 for you to review on your PowerPoints, and you can read the chapter. Also, we're going to begin to discuss observations for your field observation project. And we also have a couple of assignments. The learning activities, there's lecture and reading, which that lecture is me just kind of updating you for the week. As I said last week, there'll be times that I need to really go in depth on a topic, but for right now, I'm going to explain the weekly assignments. And so there's a discussion board and a reflection about your learning, which is actually an assignment, and they're all there in the week 2 folder. So your case study for this week is case study number 4. Now, the book is the best way to go for these case studies, even if you have to buy it on Amazon. I don't know what happened with the bookstore. I thought they were going to have it, but they don't. So if you can order the book, that's fantastic. If you're on a real limited budget and you want to try to make do with the notes that I provide, I'll work with that too, because I know this was a surprise to some of you when you found out that it wasn't at the bookstore. So for those people who don't have the book or don't have access to it, I'll be posting a brief synopsis of the case studies that we're going to look at. So those are the assignments that are due this week. It's a writing assignment, which that one is after completing the readings this week, answer one of the sets of questions below in 3 to 4 paragraphs. You'll be either explaining the perception process by examining a child and parent and how they may differ on the issue of curfew. Use all of the stages of perception in your discussion, and then demonstrate how this concept may or may not relate to the case study from the week. And then case study 4, raising a Jewish child around the Christmas holiday, is the story of Sarah. What does it mean to be Jewish and American in a Christian-dominated society? So you're going to be writing about either number 1 or number 2. For your reflection, read Case in Point from chapter 2. It's located in the chapter opening. Discuss your reaction to the perceptual and self-concept dilemma presented to Dr. Gomez. If you have questions about this, send me an email. I'll be happy to clarify it. Case study number 4, the story of Sarah. I have typed up just a brief synopsis. It doesn't give as much detail as the actually reading the full version, but it will help you to get through the assignment. I want to take a minute to comment on, I've had students in the past ask, are we allowed to read everybody else's posts on the discussion board before we do our own? The answer is yes, because since my doctorate is in education and my master's is in education, I'm really familiar with the researchers on how people learn the best and how the brain works. And the evidence shows that people learn by collaborating and by dealing with information and struggling with it, reading what someone else says about it, discussing it, which we can't really do in this online format. So our discussions all take place on the discussion board. So you may read someone else's post and think, this is, I really didn't see it from that point of view, but it brings up something new, that another side of the issue. So you definitely can read everybody's information before posting yours. That's because the most important thing in this class is the learning. It's not to be punitive. It's not to trip you up like, oh, did you get that, or, you're wrong. It's not really so much that. It's more dealing with this information in an educational manner where we all share our perspectives from our different points in life and learn from it and learn from the authors of the textbook and from the information provided by me, the professor. So feel free to read everybody else's posts. That's helps. That facilitates the learning. I want to take a minute to talk about the observation report final project. So I'm going to be looking here so that I can be sure to hit the main points. So bear with me. Students will observe and report on interpersonal communication among various types of individuals to analyze, apply, synthesize, and evaluate theories and types of interpersonal communication learned through the course. The types of interpersonal communication students will observe are relationships, two of the following, either a friendship, a professional, a personal relationship, or lovers or personal, and a family relation. Nonverbal communication, you're going to be looking at writing or sign language or body language, and interpreting messages and listening. And this can be in conflict resolution or when someone's dealing with a touchy or difficult subject. Students will observe all participants in a natural setting. Students must complete the following and will be measured according to the rubric, which is attached in the folder. Take copious observation notes. So you take notes about your observation. Analyze the notes and observations with current theories that we learn in the class. Compare and contrast observations against the norms within theories and research, and then write a 5 to 8 page paper about the findings, and you'll be presenting that to the class. So in other words, you're going to be observing people who are communicating and tying it to the information we learn in class, and eventually writing a paper on it that you'll share with class. There is the rubric, which I'm clicking on right now, explains more in detail, and so please look that all over. This is not the first or the last time I'm going to discuss this. It is the first time I'm discussing it, but it's not the last. I'm going to be going into a lot of detail with you on this. For now, it's just to introduce you to the idea of beginning to observe and take notes. You couldn't even take, I mean, sometimes it's awkward to take notes in a situation, but even I've had people take notes on their phone or email themselves something, and then later when they get home in the evening jot it down so that they remember what they saw and kind of play close attention so you can go back in your mind and think, okay, how did that actually go? So there's a little bit of that in it. It's not expected that you'll remember the communication event word for word. You know, there's a little bit of freedom to go back and remember and recall how it went. So anyway, so back to what is actually due this week. What you have due this week is you need to read, you need to look at the case study, and you need to begin to think about that observation report, and which you'll be doing in the end, and maybe begin some of those observations. There's not an assignment attached, specifically to getting that done now, but it's good to begin thinking and planning for it. So you're going to be answering one of the two sets of questions in a writing assignment. And then you will also be doing a reflection, which is reading a case in point from the chapter, and noting and actually responding to that. So if you have questions about the instructions that are up there, please do get in touch with me. Again, I did receive a text message from someone in class. That was great. Emails are fine. Phone calls are fine. Just again, take it 1 week at a time. I did allow grace because we had a little bit of difficulties this week in dispensing some of the materials to everybody. So that grace is always available within a couple of days. So don't push yourself if you get down to the wire. Just kind of pace your activities and your work for the week so that you can get through it successfully. God bless. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.